Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to your first practice. Okay, this is my lovely mum. She agreed to help me with this. So please make sure you've watched the introduction before you do your class, and in that what happens is I explain everything that you need and actually how to set up on your mat, because your setup will be a little bit different to how we're set up for the recording. So let's begin. Welcome. So hands on the knees. Okay, and then just close your eyes if that feels comfortable. If you're not comfortable with your eyes closed or it makes you feel a little dizzy, just take a soft gaze at a point on the ground a little way in front of you. And we're just going to breathe in and breathe out. Just noticing the breath. Notice how the breath feels in your body. We don't have to change anything. We're just observing. So as we begin to be a little bit more mindful about our breath, maybe set an intention for our practice today to stay connected to this mindfulness with the breath. I'm going to invite you to breathe through your nose if that's available to you. So if it doesn't feel comfortable, if there's a medical reason why you can't breathe through your nose, breathe as you need to breathe, but stay connected, stay conscious to your breath coming in and your breath going out. So as we get a little bit more used to noticing our breath, a little bit more used to the rhythm, let's turn the palms up, see how that feels. And as we turn the palms up, maybe we'll get a little bit more active with our breath. So really with yoga, it's all about connecting to the breath. So as you breathe out, what I'm going to invite you to do is draw the belly slightly in and slightly up. Okay, so maybe it just comes back like half an inch and half an inch up. So it's kind of like a little bit of a J shape. Inhaling, we're feeling that sense of expansion. Exhaling, we're drawing the belly just back a little bit and up. Breathing through the nose if you can breathe through the nose. Just notice how your body starts to let go of tension when you attend to the breath. Mind starts to slow down a little bit more space and clarity, and the body relaxes. We're less busy. So we're going to add some movement now with our breath. So staying with your breath, let your arms dangle by your sides. And as you inhale, let's take our arms up and finish your inhale. And as you exhale, I'm going to float the arms down. So you're going at your own pace with your own breath. Finish your exhale, and when you're ready to inhale, that's when we're going to float the arms up. So again, your breath might be a little shorter than mine. Maybe your breath is a little longer than mine. So find the rhythm of your breath. We want to harmonize our movement to the breath that we have. Okay, so we don't want to try and make our breath catch up with our movement. We're slowing our movement down to match our breath. I'm going to do 2 more. And just lifting your arms up. You can put a little bend in the elbows. You can make the elbows spacious. Whatever you need to do. Okay. So yoga is a practice. So we practice yoga in the body that we have in this breath in this moment. We're not trying to make our body do something it's not ready to do. Next time you finish your exhale, let the arms dangle by your sides. I'm going to take a breath here. And let's put our hands on our knees. Now, we're going to move in and out of cat-cow. So I'm going to invite you to sit in the middle of your chair. Hands are going to be resting on the thighs, kind of at the center. And we're not going to be sliding our hands around. We're going to just place them and let them be where they are. Okay? So, as you breathe in, we're expanding. As you breathe out, we're contracting. Okay? So we want to harmonize that movement with the breath, the cat-cow movement. So as you inhale, you're going to lift the chest up and forward, lift the chin. You're going to roll forward on your sit bones. And as you exhale, we're going to roll back. And as we roll back, we're going to feel the belly contract just from squeezing. So it's going to help the breath leave. You can tuck your chin. As you're ready, inhale. So you keep going at your own pace. I'm going to do this from the side so you get a little bit of a side view of what Mum's doing. So my exhale, I'm rounding, arching the spine. It's called cat because it's kind of like being an angry cat. Cow pose, we lift the chest forward and up. We'll do just a couple more. So again, we want to keep this nice and slow. We're not trying to hurry the movements. We're not trying to pack in as many as we can. We're just moving with the rate of our breath right now. Beautiful. Okay. So next time you find yourself with an in-breath, let's sit up nice and tall with a neutral spine. Perfect. All right, my lovelies. So you might want to stay kind of at center of your chair for this next one. Again, you'll decide. Just sometimes if we're leaning on the back of the chair, we have a tendency to slouch. Okay. If we sit to the center of the chair, we actually use some of our core strength to hold us up. All right. Okay, so let's let our arms dangle by our sides. And again, we're going to slow this movement down. So movement you're probably familiar with if you've done any kind of exercise class. Okay, so let's press down through our feet. Okay, and I want you to feel your sit bones, those nubbly bits. Okay, that you can feel if you wiggle around. Okay, so your sit bones are pressing down, your feet are pressing down. All right, we're going to wiggle our right fingers. So wiggle your right fingers. We're going to breathe in, press down through our feet and our sit bones, and we're going to float the arm up. That's the inhale. Now the exhale, we're going to press down a little bit more, and we're going to come over towards the left side. Okay, now if you're feeling a little tippy, use your left hand to support you on the chair. Okay, when you're ready, when you finish your inhale here, you're going to exhale and float the arm back. Good. And we'll take this to the other side. So wiggle your left fingers, press through your feet. Inhale, we're going to float this one up. So we're going to find a stretch here first, press down. As you exhale, let's come over to the side. So we're still pressing here. Inhale, find that nice big stretch through the ribs. Okay, and when you're ready, exhale, we'll float this down. Okay, let's do one more for each side. Inhale. So reach as you sit down and then exhale. Find a nice big inhale here. Find that space in the ribs. And then exhale. Perfect. Okay. Inhale last time. Big stretch up, press down, and then exhale. We'll come over. So we'll start to feel a little bit more stretch. And then inhale, last bit of stretch through the ribs. And as you're ready, exhale, we'll float it down. Perfect. All right. So, my lovelies, we are going to go into a lunge. So, I'm going to get you guys to turn to your right. Okay, so wiggle your right fingers, turn to your right, and you're going to take your right hand to hold the back of the chair. Okay, so again, I'm going to just turn my chair around so that you get to see what's happening through the front. And again, if you're using something for your feet, let's make sure I'm on the mat. I don't want my chair skidding. Okay, if you're using something for your feet, it's going to be under the front foot. Okay, so we're holding the chair, okay, and then we want our left butt cheek dangling off the chair. This is why we're holding the chair, so we don't feel unsteady. We're going to take our left knee and we're going to let the left knee dangle down towards the floor. Okay, so you decide what's working for you. Okay, and then from here, let's just see if we can lift up the left shoulder and just draw it back a little bit. Does that feel okay? You feel that nice stretch through there? Okay, we're ready to add on. All right, so we're going to float the left arm up. So now we're going to full stretch through the whole left side. Okay, and we want to hold the chair with our right hand, but let's make sure that we've got a soft grip. We don't want to be white knuckled here. Okay, press through your right foot, press through your right butt cheek. Okay, good. Ready for the other side? All right, so let's bring our knees together, our arm down, and then we'll take ourselves for a little spin. So again, if you need to, bring your block with you. If I do it this way, it's a little easier for you to see what my butt's doing. So we want to hold the chair with the left hand. Okay, we want the left butt cheek off the, the right butt cheek off the chair, and we're going to point our right knee towards the floor. Okay, and again, honoring that this side might be a little bit different. Okay, let's see if we can lift up through the shoulders and draw the shoulders back. That might be available. And then we'll float the arm up. Beautiful. Nicely done. Let your shoulder relax here a little. Yeah. So you still get the stretch by drawing down here, but we don't want to be up in the shoulder. That's perfect. Good. All right, my lovely. So let's float the arm down, bring the knees together, and we will spin around. All right, my lovely. So let's have wide feet. Okay. So for wide feet, we're going to take our heels just to the outside of our chair leg. Okay. And then let's make sure that the center of the knee is pointing in the same direction as the toe next to the big toe. Okay. And then we're going to bring our forearms onto our thighs. Okay, so wiggle your right fingers, and we're going to take our right hand onto our hip. Okay, and then we're going to start to lift up through that right shoulder, maybe look up to the ceiling, maybe you can turn your head towards your shoulder. Okay, so just see how this feels. You decide in your own body if this is working for you. Okay, next time you exhale, let's come back. So elbows on the thighs. Okay, and then as you're ready, wiggle the left fingers. So we're going to take the left fingers to the left hip. Then we can start to draw that left hip back. Maybe we can look over our shoulder this side. I'm going to take one more big breath here. Good. And when you're ready, exhale, come back to center. Okay. And then what we want to do is we want the hands on the thighs, not the knees. Okay. And come up on an exhale. Okay. All right. So we're going to make our way to standing. So we've had our head down, so we want to be really conscious of how we come up to standing so we don't get that dizziness. So bring your knees together. Come to the edge of your chair, squeeze your feet, squeeze your knees. Okay, take a nice big inhale, and then on your exhale, slowly exhale, come up to standing. So what we're doing is we're just keeping our blood pressure very steady. All right, so again, you're not going to need to switch your chairs around, but we do. So let's have you coming to the chair. So for this one, we want to stand fairly close to the chair so we can have our fingertips resting on it. Okay. And as we rest our fingertips on the chair, either have your feet hip width. So remember our hips are here. Okay. So there's a little space between the feet. Okay. Or if it feels more comfortable, you can bring your feet together. Okay, so you'll decide, and as you move through your practice, you'll decide what's going to work best for you. Okay, so as you're ready, holding the chair for balance, we're going to inhale, come up onto your tiptoes. Okay, and then exhale, we'll come down. So inhaling, we're coming up, and exhale, we're coming down, okay? So as we inhale up, you can see shoulders, hips, knees, and heels stay stacked, okay? So we can come up and down. We'd keep the weight in the ball of your foot rather than your toes, okay? And just notice if you're feeling a little bit weak in your belly, what tends to happen is we start hinging at the hips. So we don't want that so much. Just coming up and down with your breath. You're actually doing this really slow. You're getting good at this one. Okay. All right. So one more. Dazzle me. All right. So we're going to come into our chair dog. So kind of a down facing dog, but we're going to use the chair. So let's have you walking back. Okay. And remember, we're going to put the heel of the palm on the back of the chair, and that way you get that nice straight wrist, and that comes through the arms. If it's available, ear in line with the arms, don't worry if it's not. So mum has beautiful straight arms here. If you've got stuff going on in your shoulders and you need a little bend in your arm, little bend is just fine. Okay, let's have your feet come back just a tiny bit. There you go. So now we've got heel, knee, and hip all in alignment. Okay, so pull yourself forward on your chair and then stretch. Oh, pull yourself forward on your chair and stretch your bum back. Okay, remember that isometric movement. Okay, press down through the feet and lift your bum up. Good. This is one of your favorite stretches, isn't it? Okay. All right. Well, mum could be here for a little bit of time, but we're going to move on. All right. So let's have you stepping up towards the chair. Perfect. Okay. So from here, we always want to come into our foundation, and our foundation for standing is Tadasana. So we want to find our feet. So either feet together or feet hip width. And remember, our hips, we're talking about are the inside hips, not where we kind of see our outside hips. Okay. Wiggle your left toes. Okay. And you're going to step back with your left foot. And it doesn't have to be the biggest step you've ever taken, just enough, because what we're going to now do is we're going to stretch into the back of the legs, and we're going to stretch and strengthen into the triceps. So you're going to keep your elbows nice and close to your body, okay? And as you exhale, you're going to bring your nose down towards the chair, keeping your legs as straight as you can manage, keeping your heel on the ground, okay? Inhale, coming up, and exhaling, coming down. And just doing that a couple of times. Just do that for a few repetitions. So the reason I get you to keep your elbows tucked in, try it. If you bring your elbows out to the side, you don't feel that work, that nice deep stretch and strengthen that happens as you shift between bent and straight arms, okay? And we want the heels down because this is a balance pose, okay? So we want to find a nice firm foundation. Last one. Good. Okay, so don't change your feet. Don't change your feet. We're going to bend the right knee, the front knee. Okay, and we want to keep the knee over the heel. Okay, we want to keep the left heel touching the floor. And this is what gives us a nice foundation, a good base. You're going to take your left arm, you're going to sweep it up towards the sky. Perfect. Now you can look up at your fingers up to the ceiling. If you're feeling a little tippy doing that, keep your gaze forward. So, perfect. Okay, and then let's float our arm down. Okay, step your feet together. Yep, and we'll come back into our chair dog. Perfect. And let's put your heel of your palm. Mum's always looking for the biggest stretch, but actually this will give her the biggest stretch. Good. Perfect. All right. Let's step back up to the chair. Okay, so let's have neat feet, find your Tadasana pose. Okay, and then as you're ready, you'll wiggle your right toes and you can step back with your right foot. Okay, so again, we want that stance that you can have both feet on the ground, a nice strong foundation. Now this is the second time we're doing this one. Let's just check in. Bring the right hip forward and the left hip back. Okay, and then keeping the elbows nice and close to the body. On your exhale, you're going to come down. So forehead or nose towards the chair. Inhaling, coming up. Okay, you don't have to go right down. If your body doesn't go right down, just do what you can manage. If you need a little bend in the knees, put a little bend in the knees. So whatever you need to make this shape work for you. Okay, we'll just do a few of these. Perfect. And we're moving with the breath. So we're still moving with the breath. Inhale, we're finding that expansion. Exhale, we're compressing. Okay, and what we're reminded of, that compression is happening from that forward fold. Let's do 2 more. So we're moving at the speed of our breath. We're staying conscious and connected. So this be the last one. And as you find yourself inhaling, coming up, don't change your legs. Okay, don't change your feet. Land, and then you're going to bend the left knee. So again, we want the knee over the heel and the back heel down as best you can. Okay, so if you need to adjust your stance to do that, right hip forward, left hip back, and then as you're ready, you're going to float the right arm up. Perfect. Nicely done. Good. All right. So let's step or bring the arm back down. We'll step the feet back together, and you can make your way back into that down facing dog shape. And we'll take just a couple of breaths here. Good. So notice if you're gripping with your toes, let your toes relax. Okay, we want to put the weight in the 4 corners of the feet. So the ball of the foot under the big toe all the way to the little toe. And we want the 2 corners of the heel of the palm pressing down. So the toes are light. Good. Perfect. And then as you're ready, let's come slowly back to the chair. So just walking back to the chair, taking a nice deep breath in and a deep breath out. Good. All right. So let's bring you back. Okay. So come back to the seat. Okay, we're going to do one more with the hands. We want to do a little bear grip. Okay, so we're going to kind of make hooks with our fingers. So bring your arms behind you. Okay, and we'll take our left fingers. Let's do this one together. So wiggle your left fingers. Okay, your left fingers or your left palm is going to face down, which means your right palm is going to face up. We'll just get a nice stretch through the front of the shoulder here. Good. Okay, and then bring the hands back around onto the lap. Okay, and then let's take our arms back. So now this time wiggle your right fingers. Right palm is going to face down. Left palm is going to face up. We'll come into that little bear grip here. Good. And then we'll release. Bring your hands onto your lap. Again, just checking in with the breath. Inhaling, exhaling through the nose. Just noticing how the body feels. Okay. So we're going to bring our palms together. As we bring the palms together, we want to kind of press quite firmly. So really feel the connection of each of the finger pads, the knuckle pads, and the heel of the palm. Thumb is at the sternum at the heart center. We have thousands of nerve endings in the hands. And as we create that little bit of pressing, we are lighting up our brain with all the nerve endings at the other end. And we start to balance the two hemispheres of the brain. So we're going to close our practice with an Om. So this is a sound of creativity. So we'll close with one Om, and then you can think about something that you are in gratitude for. So big breath in and sigh. And then we'll take a breath in to close. Thinking about something that you are grateful for. Satnam, thank you for sharing your practice, for sharing your time. Thank you. And I invite you to actually finish your practice with Shavasana. So either just have your hands resting in your lap and just sit quietly for 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, or if you want to go lay down, you can lay down on your yoga mat or on the bed. Okay? Just to let everything that you've done in your practice actually soak into your body. Namaste.